Okay, there was a huge news drop that you might have missed due to its timing this past weekend regarding Sean Desai and his future with Philadelphia. Also, his possible replacement was just relieved of his duties by the Birds' division rival. There's also this great conspiracy theory surrounding the Philadelphia Eagles that just got some really interesting legs by an old NFL veteran, and BG made a promise today about the Bucs playoff game that you gotta hear to believe. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. When it comes to NFL teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, they're not dumb when it comes to leaking information, and boy, did they do a masterclass of a PR job this past Sunday when they let Jeff McLean from the Philly Inquirer leak that it's almost certain that the Eagles DC Desai won't return to the team in 2024. Now, you probably didn't hear about this leak because due to the perfect timing, the news got swept under the rug because we all cared about what happened a few hours later when Philadelphia got boat raced by their division rivals, the Giants, losing their 5th game in the past 6 weeks. I mean, Sirianni even had a press conference today and was asked 0 times by media members about this report, which, by the way, geez, Nick Sirianni looks absolutely exhausted. You think the losing is taking a toll on our head coach? More on what he said a little bit later on. Still, I'm not saying Desai leaving is a massive shock, but the timing of the news, especially after what's happened to him, and this is now at minimum, regardless of what happens to Nick Sirianni, you've got to get rid of Sean Desai, Matt Patricia, and Brian Johnson. That's like bare level stuff. That absolutely has to happen. But for what it's worth, I do think Desai got a little bit of a bad rap by everyone, including myself. Like, we forget the defense wasn't great the entire year, but he did lead the Birds to wins against Dak, Mahomes, Allen, and Mike McDaniels. Now, it's way too early to get into new coaching hire speculation, but man, fans on Twitter are clamoring for newly released and now former Giants defensive coordinator Wink Martindale be one of the top candidates due to his blitz-heavy scheme and complete change for what the Eagles' soft defense has been really kind of predicated on the past few seasons. Personally, I would still take a look at Michigan's defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, who they interviewed last year, along with former Eagles DB coach and current Ravens DB coach Denard Wilson, along with Martindale as possible Desai/Patricia replacements. What do you guys think? Now, to put a bow on the whole offseason coaching carousel, which again is going to really heat up the next couple of weeks, the Panthers have requested to speak with current Eagles assistant GM Alex Halaby for their vacant GM job per Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport. Now, you might recognize Halaby as the super young-looking Harvard grad who's been with the Eagles for 16 seasons. I mean, the guy was like an intern for Philadelphia 16 years ago. He's widely considered Howie Roseman's right-hand man, and honestly, it's not a big surprise that other teams would show interest in him. I expect Halaby to get hired somewhere this offseason, and if not this offseason, for sure next year. Now, putting all that aside for the moment, the focus needs to go back on the task at hand, which of course is a playoff game on Monday night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And according to Vegas, the new line has moved from Philadelphia being favored by 1.5 points to Philly all of a sudden being 3-point favorites on the road as a lower seed. Now, of course, this has led many people to spark up the age-old conspiracy theory that I've seen in my comment section way more than you would ever believe, that Philadelphia has been purposely looking bad the past couple of weeks in order to shock teams in the playoffs, which, I'm going to be honest with you, is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard. However, it's not just YouTube commenters who are saying that. Listen to Chad Ochocinco basically admit this in his car the other day.
I know my Eagles fans. I know y'all upset. I think they're going to fix it. I think the Eagles players, I think they playing possum. I know what they're doing. They're allowing their bodies to reset. They're allowing their minds to mentally reset. And watch what happens come playoff time. Watch what happens next week. Watch what I tell you. I tell you no lie. I lie for you before I lie to you. Watch what them boys do. I know it. I'm familiar with their game. I know what they're doing. Eagles fans, I tell you, I know what I'm talking about now.
Now, again, I think this is super dumb, and I do not believe it at all. But whenever you have Dallas, Philadelphia kind of checked out weeks ago because they were already locked in the playoffs, it at least raises an eyebrow, right?
You know, ever since, 4 or 5 weeks ago when we clinched the playoffs, you know, I think everybody's just been waiting for the playoffs. So not something that, you know, is a great thing, but I think everybody's going to be ready to go, and I think we're going to, you know, show the world what we're capable of.
Still, why not lock up the 1 seed in the NFC East before you start going super vanilla, according to the conspiracy theory, and making teams absolutely blow you out the past couple of weeks? Like, if this was actually true, you'd want the 1 seed, you'd want to lock up the division, and then you could go vanilla and try and trick teams into thinking, oh, the Eagles are one of the worst 1 seeds out there, and then boom, RPO, boom, passes across the middle, boom, good defense. But again, this whole idea that Philadelphia wanted to lose 5 of the last 6, they wanted to look vanilla, it's absolutely ridiculous. Now, personally, I think the best thing that could happen to the whole Philadelphia controversy is Nick Sirianni taking over play calling for Monday night's game and proving to the world that he's actually an offensive genius and deserves to command this offense going into 2024. When asked about it yesterday, Nick, what do you think about maybe changing up the play calling?
Hey Nick, going into the playoffs, are you making any changes for play calling on defense or offense? And how would you assess that right now?
Yeah, no.
All right, well, I mean, I guess it was worth a shot. What's more crazy to me is the fact that we've had zero updates on A.J. Brown's knee, which you would think would be kind of like a top story, yet there's been zero actual reports and any sort of update on this whole thing. And yesterday, during his press conference, Sirianni gave us the only little tiny bit of information, which was basically nothing.
As far as Devontae, as far as Cam, as far as AJ, we'll see as the week progresses. Obviously bummed that Cam and AJ had to come out, and we obviously missed Devontae yesterday. We need all hands on deck to do the things we want to do, and we'll see how the week progresses. Hopeful on everybody, obviously besides Sydney. But we'll see, and I'll give you more information as the week continues to roll on.
I mean, come on, seriously. Like, if Philly wants any chance of winning this playoff game or even keeping it within 20 against Dallas or San Francisco in the divisional round, AJ has to at least be 80%, right? And the fact we haven't gotten a single update on him isn't the most promising thing I've seen. Now, of course, it is Tuesday, so Brandon Graham was on his weekly WIP morning show hit, and man, he gave a pretty good TED Talk impression trying to convince myself and Eagle fans everywhere that the sky is not falling, that they're going to be just fine, and went as far as betting his house, or at least saying he would bet his house, on the Birds responding well Monday night versus the Bucs.
Hey, ain't nobody ready to lay down, you know what I'm saying? And we ain't got all the answers, but I do know that what we put out this past, 2 days ago, it ain't gonna happen again. I could bet the house on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know my team gonna respond well, and I know Jalen gonna come out and lead the way. And we believe, man. And I love how our backs is up against the wall. Everybody like, man, we might as well pack it up. Yeah, that's that weak mentality. We ain't got that. You know what I'm saying? And so I can't wait to go out there this week, man. Get ready.
Honestly, I want to believe BG. Like, I really, really, really do. And maybe if Philadelphia had only lost maybe 2 of their last 5 or 1 of their last 5, I could actually believe him. But it's just been 6 weeks. For 6 straight weeks, we have heard, guys, trust us. We're going to be just fine. Trust me. This is going to be all fixed. We got that dog mentality. We're underdogs now. Like, it's the boy who cried wolf, man. Like, I just can't believe you anymore, BG. And it's so annoying because the Bucs aren't that good of a football team. They only have 2 good wins on the year, and that's Jacksonville, who missed the playoffs, and the Green Bay Packers, who are the 7th seed. What's your confidence level for the Birds going into Monday night? Like, is it at 0? Is it 100%? Is it 50-50? I'm going to read the comments down below. I'm curious where the rest of the fan base is at. Now, I personally wouldn't bet my house on the Eagles actually winning, but again, if you like listening to people talk a good game, how about Nick Sirianni this morning on WIP when asked about how he's feeling and what the outside noise is doing to him personally?
We're in a little bit of a slump right now. We're losing 5 out of the last 6. Not a little bit. I'm really pissed. And all my mindset is to make sure that we are doing the things we need to do to help us win this next game, and not thinking about anything else but that, because there can be a ton of distractions if you allow there to be distractions. And so, in good times, it's easy to block out any distractions. In hard times, it's not as easy, but that's what I don't get paid to lead the team when it's easy, right? I get paid to lead the team when it's tough. And again, that's also, how I have, same thing with my family, same thing with everything. So this is the times that test you, and look forward to this challenge that we have to get it going back right again.
Again, it sounds good. Like, it sounds really, really good, but I have to see it to believe it. And even if they beat the Bucs by 3 points, 6 points, 7 points, are you still going to have any confidence going into the divisional round against potentially Dallas or Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions, or at worst, the San Francisco 49ers? I'm not. So curious where you guys are at on that. We're going to keep an update on all of this heading into the next couple of days, including our Wednesday link live tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Not join us for the Best Eagles Weekly Live Show. Myself, Josh Davis, be sure to go ahead and do that. Crazy stuff is happening, and we're getting close to the off-season, which means draft stuff. Ooh, can't wait for that as well. But because we still do have a playoff game to keep an eye on, so we'll see what happens with that. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.